Hi, family. A couple years ago, I read a study that stated that parents who had a child with autism experienced similar levels of stress as soldiers in combat and experienced similar symptoms of PTSD. And that study was so validating to me. I thought at that point, this was a couple years ago, where I felt like I was all alone in the world of autism, where parents felt that way. Because both my son and I are very empathic. So that means we kind of can feel things deeply that other people feel. And so we also, at that point, my son and I were very unhealthily enmeshed. We were very corded, which doesn't have to be that way. Where if I felt stressed, then he would feel my stress and it would escalate. And then I would feel his stress and it would just escalate out of control, or we both would just be emotional wrecks and just stressed all day long. And maybe some of you relate to that feeling of just walking on eggshells. Your whole life is just this feeling of walking on eggshells because you never know what's going to set your child off. And if you're a parent that feels very deeply, it can be very intense, and you do feel like you're a soldier in combat. Is really how I felt, especially when I heard babies crying, which was my son's biggest trigger at that point. I would just like freeze and seize up because I was just expecting this horrible meltdown and that feelings of helplessness and not knowing what to do. And even if my son wasn't there with me, and if I heard a baby crying, I would have that same physiological reaction. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about breaking that cycle that happens. And the best way, I think, to break that cycle is self-care. It's something that is so important. And at that point when you feel like you're just surviving autism and definitely not thriving in autism, self-care is something that's very hard. I remember self-care at that point to me looked like checking out, because you feel like you're drowning all the time. So my favorite checkouts would be like Diet Coke and sugar and TV. Those were my choices to check out. But I would invite you to check in and take care of your inner world. So think about the things that made you really happy, that fed your soul, maybe even before you had kids. What was it that brought you true joy? And create that time for you every single day, even if it's 5 minutes. It is so important, because when you feel more grounded and happy, it gives our children the environment to feel more grounded and happy. Just make it happen. Create a plan with your spouse if you have a partner, or with family or friends. Create that support system so that you can create that time to tune in with yourself and take care of your own inner world, because you cannot give from a space of lack. You just can't do it. It just will not work. You cannot give from a space of lack. And so if you want to assist your child to heal yourself. I feel like that's the fastest way to break that PTSD cycle. And it's the only way to thrive in autism rather than just to survive. And so I'd invite you to create this every day. Be compassionate to yourself. Be kind to yourself, because you've just been through a war. Be kind and love yourself. And I love you too. Talk to you soon.